Hello, so I have cut it short in the previous video because I wanted to be more convenient. So I actually have ended up in 2015. So right now, 2018, we're back to 2015 at the same time. Not how God's clock work, and so we are going by the sabbatical procedure. So in this, on the 20th of April 2018 is equal. From this time onwards, so not only this date but onwards, of this boundary, this is the boundary that we need. This is the boundary of that sabbatical code. And that actually ended up until by memory, it's actually on the 10th of May 2019. That's the deadline. The deadline of that 67 code. And that's a sabbatical code that must be used. And there are indeed two birth dates of Israel, and in accordance to 1947, their deadline is even closer. It's basically until the end of this year. It's not until next year, but I'm standing for both years, and I'm using for both years, both 1948 and 1947, on the birth date of Israel. As it has been proved by God's calendars that both are to be used anyway. But just with 1947, the deadline basically has entered around the 29th of December 2018. That's gonna be hitting 71 years old of Israel, and that wouldn't be the boundary that we're looking for anyway. Because when he's 71, if you it wouldn't be 67 years old anymore. Because God's clock goes by quadrant to quadrant. That's how it is equalized. It goes by the golden rule of 3. And in regards of how the system works, I'm not going to explain in this video, but I may explain how the system has been constructed. So we're back to 2015. And that was the sabbatical year. 67 years old. 2015 was 67 years old. And that boundary started in the 24th of April 2015. I've actually highlighted multiple layer 5 across multiple calendars at the same time. God's calendars, except for equalizing dates by quadrant to quadrant, it also has 3 different calendars to be used at the same time. There is the Enoch's calendar, there is the Elijah's calendar, and there is the Jewish calendar. 3 calendars are to be used at the same time for a fuller picture of how everything gonna work. People may focus on Jewish calendar at one time. They may focus on the Enoch's calendar at one time, and some may focus on the Elijah's calendar at one time, but 3 calendars are to be used at the same time in God's calendars. And it is possible through the relationship network that can be equalized between calendar to calendar, and on top with the Gregorian calendar in here for convenience as to what date it is in our own calendar as well at the same time. And the reason that we're using Enoch and Elijah's calendar, because both of them were taken by God following a pattern of pattern of the bride. The bride will be taken by God. The bride walked with God, just as Enoch and Elijah, and they were taken to heaven without dying. They will become the two witnesses to come in the coming time of the tribulation period. But they were still dependent for the bride of Christ, both Enoch and Elijah. And that's why we're using those two calendars, and the Jewish calendar, of course. And Enoch's calendar is very important because he was the father of time. And his calendar is very accurate. And so, right now, we're back to 2015. This is the boundary, the sabbatical boundary as well. And so when we're looking at 2018, we're looking at 2015's calendars at the same time. Because again, God's calendars and God's clock, God's timing, it goes forward and backward at the same time. And it can reference the future and the past to the present time at the same time. And so this is what we're targeting. 424, that was layer 5, and here I'm 70 years old. And so we're going by the sabbatical code. 67 years old. And we're finding the Pentecost. The Pentecost is Sivan 67. Sivan 67 is the sabbatical code. Sivan 67 Pentecost of 2015 by the Jewish calendar was on the 24th to the 25th of May of 2015. Across multiple calendars, there are multiple Pentecostal dates of that same Sivan 67 dates. But we are choosing the 24th to the 25th of 2015 of that date, where layer 5 was of the Jewish calendar. And this date has been done by the delay in accordance to Exodus chapter 34 verse 22. That's gonna be focused on like right now. So 2015 being on the 67 years old, and we're tying in the Pentecost of Sivan 67. That's the sabbatical code. So we're tying in this date, and the reason with the 24th to the 25th of May, and we're tying a Jewish calendar. Because this delay came from the Jewish calendar on the 24th of April. 424, the code 424 in accordance to 3 pi, confirming 424 this date as the one that we must use. It actually is Genesis chapter 4:24. I'm cutting short right here. I'm gonna stop here and